What up everybody, it's Frank Muller, back at it again with another video today. You're watching Level Up, Double Down, where we don't play around unless it's video games. With that out the way, let's go ahead and get things started. On today's episode, we'll be picking up where we left off in the last video where we built a gaming PC on a budget. But this time, I'm showing you guys how to set up the BIOS, which is very necessary if you're trying to get the computer up and running in the correct format before installing the OS. Now I understand it can get confusing at times, so I'm just gonna walk you through the settings I use just to make things less complicated for you to understand, since a lot of it can go over your head. Now, I don't want things to get long-winded like the last video, so I'm not gonna hold you up too much longer, so let's go ahead and cut to the chase. To start things off, you're gonna need a USB flash drive and a separate computer where you can download the latest firmware version of your motherboard's BIOS so you can copy it to the USB flash drive. If you're following along with me, I'm gonna give you a chance to find a USB flash drive if you have one available, starting now. Okay, time's up. That should have been enough time, but if you need more, just put this video on pause. For everybody else, let the games begin. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna transition over to screen capture. That way it's a lot easier for you guys to see what I'm doing on screen instead of me recording what I'm doing in front of my monitor in first person mode, which was already hard enough as it was when I built this gaming PC. Alright guys, so for the first step, we need to go to the motherboard manufacturer's website. And in this case, it's the ASUS website. Now we're gonna look up the software that's compatible with this motherboard, which should also include the BIOS, and that requires us to go to the support section designated for the motherboard we're using, followed by clicking on drivers and manuals. Now your screen may not look like this because I'm logged into my account, and as you can see I got quite a bit of items registered, and we're gonna go ahead and click on the Tough Gaming B550 Plus Wi-Fi 2, and that's gonna take us to the software page with everything related to this motherboard, and we're gonna click on the BIOS and firmware section. There we go. I don't know why it's taking quite a bit of time for it to load everything up. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose the most recent release of the firmware, which is version 3634. So I'm gonna download that. I'm just waiting for it to finish. All right, now we're gonna need to connect the USB flash drive to the separate computer we're using, and then get a hold of that zip file we just downloaded containing the BIOS update, and we're going to need to extract it from the zip file and make a copy of it and drop it onto the root of the USB flash drive. Alright, now once it's copied over, then we'll need to remove the flash drive from the separate computer and then connect that same flash drive to the computer in which we are trying to set up the BIOS for. That needs to be done before turning on that computer, the gaming PC. Alright, so we're back at the gaming PC in first person mode, as you can see. Unfortunately, when I tried to screen capture the BIOS, I wasn't getting any signal on my capture card. Come to find out, after doing some troubleshooting, in order for me to display out from the BIOS of the gaming PC to my capture card, it requires that the CPU I'm using contain an iGPU or integrated graphics. In my case, the 5800X that I'm using doesn't contain one, so there's no way I can screen capture the BIOS, so we'll just be in first person mode for the rest of the video. So after turning on the gaming PC, we'll automatically be directed to the main menu. Now, what we want to do is install the BIOS update before we change any settings. So from here, we go to advanced mode. Then afterwards, we want to go to tool. Alright, and then from tool, we want to go to ASUS Easy Flash. Alright, and we want to select the storage device, which is our designated USB from the list. Alright, so you see I have it selected. Well, it's actually the first selected device on the list. And what we want to do is we want to select the cap file containing the firmware. So I'm just going to double click it, and it says please back up your BitLocker recovery key and suspend BitLocker encryption in the operating system before updating the BIOS. Well, we're not doing anything or changing any settings in the BIOS, so we can just go ahead and click yes. Alright, now it says, do you want to read this file? Yes. And it's frozen. So now it says, do you really want to update the BIOS? And it tells us version 3634, and the date is September 10th, 2025. Wow. Let's go ahead and click yes. And we're just going to wait until the BIOS finishes updating. So once the BIOS has finished updating, it's going to automatically restart. After the computer's rebooted, we're automatically brought back to the American Megatrends boot screen. From here, we just want to press F1 to proceed. Alright, and now we can make changes to the BIOS settings. But while we're here, let's go ahead and change the time. Once we finish doing that, we want to go to advanced mode. Then we want to go to exit. And after that, we want to load optimized defaults. We want to let it take its toll. Make sure I get it right the first time. All right, cool. So that took care of itself. Now we want to go to boot, then boot configuration, and we want to disable fast boot. Once we disable fast boot, we want to back out of boot. And we want to go to CSM, which means Compatibility Support Module. And we want to enable launch CSM. Alright, now we want to set boot device control to UEFI only. Now we want to back out to boot. And we want to go to secure boot. Then we want to go to key management. And we want to clear secure boot keys. What that does is it disables secure boot state, because what you'll run into is, if you ever have an issue where you need to access your hard drive, but you reset the BIOS, those keys get misplaced or removed, and you're not able to access your hard drive because of those boot keys that you had set up if you would opt to go with that option. All right, now what we want to do next is we want to back out of secure boot, and we want to go to OS type, and we want to use, or we want to choose other OS, which has automatically been set. All right, we want to back out the boot, and then from here, under boot option priorities, we can then set up which boot disk that we want to have as primary. Now from here, we want to then go to advanced, and we want to go to AMD lowercase f TPM configuration. Now we want to select TPM device, and we want to choose enable discrete TPM, which has already been set. And you also want to disable erase FTPM NV for factory reset. All right, from here we want to go to advanced, or excuse me, we want to back out of advanced, or back out to advanced. Go to CPU configuration, and we want to disable SVM, which is secure virtual machine. It appears as though SVM has already been disabled by default. All right, now we want to back out to advanced, and we want to go to SATA configuration, and here we want to set SATA mode to 8HCI, and it appears that's already been set to default, so we want to back out to advanced again. And we want to go to APM configuration. And from here, we want to disable ERP ready. It appears that's also disabled by default as well. So let's see real quick. Now we want to back out to advanced. And we want to go to onboard devices configuration. And we want to scroll all the way down to serial port configuration. And from here, we want to turn off serial port. All right, now we want to back out to advanced. And we want to go to USB configuration. From here, we want to enable XHCI handoff. And it appears it's also set by default, so that's good to hear, or good to see, excuse me. Now, optionally, we can go to AI tweaker, and we can set the frequency for the memory. And if you notice, it's set to auto. So if you are familiar with the speed or frequency for the memory that you're using, you can change it to that frequency. So the memory I have is 3200. So let's go ahead and manually change it to 3200. And the next option I want to go to is I want to change the fan speeds, okay? So I'm going to go to advanced mode, which I'm already in advanced mode. So I want to go to monitor. Then I want to set the CPU fan speed. And from here, I want to change everything to monitor. So let me go ahead and change monitor. Let's see, make sure everything's set to monitor. Alright, so we changed all the CPU fans to monitor, so just wanted to make sure about that. Now we want to scroll down to Q fan configuration. And in Q fan configuration, we want to click on Q fan tuning. Alright, so just to simplify the text that's on screen, what this does is it allows a BIOS to run an assessment to detect the lowest speed to configure the minimum rotation of each fan. So we want to go ahead and click OK. And we just want to wait for it to do its thing. You may notice that your PC may be ramping up on the fan speed. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. It's just that the PC's collaborating, or calibrating, not collaborating. Alright, so once it's finished, you want to click OK. Alright, so you'll notice that the fan speed in your fans should be balanced now. However, there's further settings that we're going to go into that's going to allow the fan speeds to be even more optimized. So from here, what we want to do is we want to go to the CPU Q fan control, and you notice that it's showing auto. What we want to do is we want to change it to PMW mode. The same thing goes for AIO pump control as well. And also, you want to scroll down all the way to the chassis fan configuration. Alright, and on the chassis fan configuration screen, we want to set the chassis fan 1, 2, 3 Q fan controls to PMW mode. Alright, so I was able to go ahead and set all three of those fans to PMW mode for the chassis fans 1, 2, and 3. So after doing so, you want to then go to Q fan control F6, which is at the upper part of the screen. If you see right over here, right over here. All right, so you'll notice that there's these diagrams or graphs, which basically goes into the QFin controls, the optimization of QFin controls, which is what I was referring to earlier. What we want to do is go ahead and make it to where the fans are optimized in silent mode. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you how I go about doing so. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to go ahead and click Optimize All. So that's the first step you want to take care of. Just like we had experienced earlier, when we did the same thing earlier, it's just a repeat process. Yeah, this was under QFan configuration earlier. All right, now that it's finished, we can now go ahead and optimize each fan to be set to silent mode. So what you want to do is you just want to click on silent mode, and if you notice it makes a yellow line on the graph, and you want to do this for each fan that you have connected to the PC. Silent mode, silent mode, silent mode. So we actually had to set this up manually with the AIO pump control. So what I want to do is do something that's somewhat similar to how the optimization for silent mode was automatically done. So I'm just going to do something that's similar. So just go ahead and get that. And, you ain't got to necessarily be perfect, but I try sometimes. So, and bam. Looks pretty good to me. Looks pretty good to me. All right, so you want to go ahead and click apply, and we want to exit. So all that's left for us to do is save the settings. So this is optional, but I prefer to do that so that way I'm able to always revert back to those settings if I ever need to make any changes that are temporary in the BIOS that I might not be pleased with, then I might want to change back in the future. So just keep that in mind. So what we want to do is we want to go to Tool, go to ASUS User Profile, and we want to choose one of these profiles. So for number 1, that's the one that's selected. So what we want to do is type a name. So the name I'm going to do is BIOS 1. So let me go ahead and type that in. And then when you get done finished typing the name, you want to just press enter. Excuse me, you have to go down, you have to scroll down to the profile that you want to use it, that you want to save it to. Then you gotta press enter. And then it's gonna say save the profile, and you want to click yes. And if you notice, BIOS 1 is selected, is saved to BIOS 1. All right, now you can also save the BIOS setting to your USB stick as well. So what you can do is you just click on load save profile to USB drive. And what we want to do now is we want to go to exit, and we want to save changes and reset. All right, so this is going to allow those settings that we made to be saved, and then after the computer reboots, that will then retain those settings, allowing us to then install the operating system under those conditions. So if you notice, we have all these settings that we made that are all going to be saved. All right, just waiting on the computer to reboot, just so that way we can check our work to see whether or not those settings had retained itself. All right, so we're back at the American Megatrends boot screen. We just want to press F1. And what we want to do is just see whether or not the settings have saved themselves. And it appears that they have. I'm just going through just to see what is there. The time looks to be changed because now it's the native time. And let me go to the AI tweaker. Yeah, the RAM is 3200 as I had set before. So it looks as though everything went accordingly. So there you have it. Looks like we did a job well done. So if you made it this far into the video, I appreciate your patience and you being open-minded to wanting to see what it is all about. So all I can tell you is, if you found what I've done helpful and you want to explore more, I suggest subscribing, taking the time to comment what you thought about what I've shown so far. If you like the presentation that I gave, you can praise me in the comment section, but at the same time, I do appreciate everybody and anybody who's willing to take a chance on me, my channel, and what we have to offer. So, with all that being said, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Again, this is Frank Muller signing out. Holla at me.